Hey everybody, this is the Platinum Knight here with a triple first impressions video. Yep, that's right everybody. I am doing a triple first impressions video for the first time here on my movie channel. Why? Because I really gotta hurry up. These are the last movies that I gotta talk about for 2023, so for this first impressions video, I'm gonna be talking about Godzilla Minus One, Wonka, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Starting off with Godzilla Minus One, I'm not gonna spend too much time talking about this film because all you need to know is it's a masterpiece. As an American, it's really difficult to see the Toho versions of these films. I haven't seen Shin Godzilla because it wasn't playing anywhere around my area. Thankfully, Minus One was a film that I was lucky enough to get a fan screening in IMAX. It was only a day early before release, but I am super grateful that I got to experience it. What this Godzilla does differently and what was missing compared to the legendary picture series is, for the first time, I really cared about the humans. It takes place in 1945 near the end of World War II, set in the aftermath of the Tokyo bombings. We see the main lead struggle in poverty, doing whatever they can in order to survive. We witness the land being rebuilt. The way it's done is so well written, so phenomenally executed. I honestly forgot I was watching a Godzilla movie at times, but whenever the King of the Monsters did finally show up on screen, I got serious chills on the sides of my face. Although some people have criticized the ending for being too positive, and while I can see that, but at least it's not a terrible one. If you haven't seen Godzilla Minus One yet, see it. It's that amazing. Even if you're not a fan of Godzilla, it is still a must-see. The movie has since been re-released in black and white to pay homage to the original. Supposedly this film had a budget of $15 million. However, other sources have said this is not true, claiming nobody really knows. Regardless of the budget, it is still a great film. This is a real Godzilla movie. By the way, congratulations Toho for earning $100 million at the box office, making it the highest grossing film not just for the franchise but here in America, especially for Godzilla's 69th anniversary. Now I can't wait for Legendary Pictures' Godzilla and King Kong movie. The next film I'm gonna talk about is Wonka. This is a film that instantly made it in a special place in my heart. To give my brief thoughts on the previous films, I obviously love the 1971 Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. It will always will be a cult classic and one of my favorite childhood movies. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was meh. Okay, yeah, just okay, but not great. I thought Johnny Depp's portrayal of Willy Wonka was awkward and miscast. I understand Tim Burton's version of the story is more accurate to the books, but sometimes book adaptations are just not meant to be accurate. So now we have a prequel about a young Willy Wonka. While it's not really officially canon to the Gene Wilder film, but it might as well be. And what are my thoughts on Wonka? I loved it. This film made me happy from start to finish. Not a single dull moment. This is a film that really puts me in a good mood. It's a 100% musical comedy. It's fun, funny, whimsical. The musical performances are really well done and choreographed choreographed. What really holds this movie together is none other than the brilliantly talented Timothy Chalamet. He also recently appeared at the Game Awards announcing Game of the Year, and he's about to star in Dune Part 2. Upon doing some more research on him, he used to mod Xbox controllers, and his Game of the Year for 2023 is Spider-Man 2. I love this man. With his beautiful, charming voice and singing, I believe Gene Wilder himself would be proud of him. I guess the only criticisms I have with Wonka is some scenes did not need to be a musical, and I guess a CGI Oompa Loompa. I don't know why they couldn't just hire a real little person, but it's not that big of a deal. Peter Dinklage would have been perfect. Other criticisms I've been hearing from other people is some were disappointed how the film starts with Willy Wonka already being a professional chocolatier. While I can understand some people's disappointment, but I think it's one of those things where it's best to use your imagination, and not everything has to be explained. I really wish I could spoil the ending, so I'll do my best to be vague. But that ending was amazingly nostalgic, because from the beginning of the movie, all the musicals are new and original all the way up until the very end of the film, to where they play one song from the original 1971 Willy Wonka. I'm not gonna say what song it is, but when Timothy Chalamet started singing it, my eyes just widened and I got goosebumps all over my face and got so emotional. I started getting those emotions around my neck, and I was almost getting ready to cry, but I held it in and decided not to. It was beautiful, everybody. I am so happy me and my mom got to see it together in theaters after eating at IHOP, having Wonka pancakes. A Christmas gift for her and a day I will never forget. The last film I'm gonna talk about is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, the final movie for the DCEU, or at least for this universe. Originally, I was planning on boycotting this film for obvious reasons. I hate Amber Heard. I hate her a lot. I have made that perfectly clear on Twitter. She is evil, vile, and disgusting. Maybe not as bad as Ezra Miller, but she is still pretty horrible. For those of you who are somehow not familiar with the story, I'll do my best to summarize. Basically, she is Johnny Depp's abusive ex-wife. What made this story go viral is, at first it seemed like it was the other way around, leaving Mr. Depp to being cancelled and fired from his roles, including Disney, when it was later revealed that Miss Heard was actually the one domestically abusing Johnny thanks to the proof and evidence with pictures, some audio recordings, and a thorough investigation by law enforcement. However, Miss Heard didn't really pay as many consequences compared to her ex-husband. She didn't really get dropped from any of her movie roles, and Aquaman 2 was one of them. This case also became a prime example of the double standards between men and women. But then Johnny Depp thankfully won in court, and Amber Heard was found guilty. After the court case, that's when all of a sudden studios dropped her, and her role in Aquaman was supposedly reduced. I still wanted to boycott the movie, but what ended up changing my mind was I was invited, and it was reported this film was gonna flop anyway. Now that I have seen the movie, what are my thoughts? Well, some of you are going to be surprised by this, but I like it, but don't get me wrong, it's by no means a very good movie. However, it is still one of those films that I can at least turn my brain off and have some fun with it because of how ridiculous it is. From a mindless action flick to a nonsensical plot, what I still really enjoyed about this film is obviously Jason Momoa as Aquaman. He really carried this movie and nails it. I even like Patrick Wilson as Ocean Master. While he was the main villain in the first film, the whole buddy cop relationship between him and Aquaman may not be the best, but good enough. Their chemistry was still funny and entertaining to watch. Like in the previous movie, the plot has this travel feel to it, like Indiana Jones, and it works for the most part. Oh, and what are my thoughts on Amber Heard? Is it true Warner Bros. Reduced her role? And the answer is, kind of, but not by much though. She wasn't in it a lot, but she was still at least present through 40% of the movie. Maybe she was originally gonna go with Aquaman on his journey instead of Ocean Master, but I still cringed every time she was on screen. Thankfully, she decided to retire after this movie. I'm not gonna spoil the ending, but I will say this. Black Manta was very underwhelming. So there's a part where he had the opportunity to finally get his revenge, and he doesn't do it, which is strange because that's the whole point of this film. This movie plays it way too safe. When I left the theater, I remember having a lot of fun, and I did, but the more that I think about it, Aquaman 2 may not be the best way to end the DCEU. Warner Bros. Should have just ended it with one more Justice League movie. But after flop, I really can't blame them. However, I also wouldn't say this is the worst way to end a cinematic universe either. The Flash was worse. Now it's up to James Gunn and see if he can revise a new DC cinematic universe with a movie retitled to just Superman instead of Superman Legacy. But hey, after watching Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, I believe he will do just fine. Alright everybody, that's it for this triple first impressions video. That's it for Godzilla -1, Wonka, and Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. This was the first time talking about 3 movies in one video. If you enjoyed this video, then please be sure to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. Hit that notification bell for new videos, and peace out everybody.